All right, let's try to work through this first review real quick. This is information from the basics class that I want to make sure that you know. Going to be going over files, ribbon, tabs, dialog box, formatting, quick fill, multi-page references. Once I finish with talking about each of these, I'll color that. So if you want to fast forward on the video, you can just look for that section to be colored. And then we'll know that I'm starting to talk about ribbon, so you can fast forward to ribbon or formatting if you need to jump forward. So let's get into it. Files. When you first open Excel, it'll have the option to open various files. You also have the going to the file tab. You have new if you want to create a new one, blank workbook, open. It'll give you various ones that you've opened recently on there, or you can do browse to search for a particular one. Save, if you're just saving the file that you already are using. Save as if you need to change it. Let's do browse. You have some save as types, Excel workbook, Excel macro enabled workbook. We'll talk about that later in the advanced course. Binary, don't know about that. 97 to 2003, just an older version. The XLSX is more compacted compared to the 97 to 2003, and there's some features that don't work in the older version. Other ones, another one that tend to use, perhaps text tab delimited. If you have format that needs that, Unicode text, same thing. Sometimes you're trying to create a format to upload into a certain program and you need those formats. CSV is another common one. I'll talk about a couple of things related to it. It's comma separated value. And then you have some other type. PDF is another common one if I want to save it as a PDF. Alternatively, cancel that. I could do print. Since I have Adobe iPad or whatever, I can do save as Adobe PDF, or I can print and say Microsoft print the PDF if I want to save it in a PDF and pick out some options. So that's our basics on files. And another note, since it came up here, if you want to see how big your page is, you know, where the page cutoffs are, if you go to File and Print and then just go back, then these page lines show up so you know that's how big of my page is. So then if you need to shift things around to try and get it all onto one page, you have those page markers. Okay, so that's files. Color, add in ribbon, tabs, dialog box. And this is the ribbon. These are tabs. So if I say on the data tab, then I'm talking about going to the data tab and something in there. Dialog box. So, well, let me back up. So groups. So this is a group, the number group. All the things within these two lines in that group have to do with number, alignment group, font group. If there's other additional options, you have this dialog box launcher. So the alignment dialog box launcher, I click that, opens up on alignment. There's some additional options there. So that's the ribbon, tabs, dialog box launcher. In the event that you lose your ribbon, there's this little collapse the ribbon button over here, so you can work without having it show up. If you want it back, I always have it on. So if you just click on some tab up there, then it'll show that tab, and then if you click off, it disappears. But you can come back over here. There's a pin the ribbon. Click on that, and your ribbon will always stay there. You also have a couple other options here. With the ribbon, you have your formula bar. This is on the View tab. You can take it off so you don't see it. I don't know why. It's always nice to have it. You also have your headings, so your column and rows, and the grid lines. So in the event that you wanted to take any of those off, have them not show up for whatever reason, then you could do it from that View tab. So that's Ribbon, Tabs, Dialog Box. Just to make sure that when I'm talking about something, we're on the same page. Formatting. We've got a number of formatting things. I've shown a couple with formatting colors. So if you wanted to get back, instead of having that color, go to No Fill, or pick out a color. You have lots of formatting options here on the Home tab. Changing your font. I'm not going to go through most of these. Play around with them if you don't know what they do. Alignment. Yeah, that's another formatting thing. Your size of rows and size of columns, you can go there. You can quick set it to the widest thing by double clicking in between your right hand section of the column. Same with your rows. That's another thing, make sure you know. Columns, rows, address, M20, so I'm clicked on column M, row 20, M20, that's our address. So top of the line, middle of the line, bottom of the line, left, by widen this column up, left of the line, center of the line, right of the line, okay. And that's pretty basic stuff. Merge and center, that can be a little trickier because it can affect sorting and formatting. So be cautious of using merge and center. That just combines multiple cells together into one cell. It relates to the left top cell of what you have selected. So if I take and I have some information, 3, and I take all of that and I merge and center it, it'll only keep the upper left value and discard the other values. I say, okay, so this is C24, so that upper left one is what this cell is considered. And I can wrap that text to be able to have it on multiple lines. Get rid of that merge and center by clicking on it again. All that data that was there is gone. So, conditional formatting. If I have a string of numbers, there's various conditional formattings. Highlight cells rules, greater than, less than, whatever, top bottom rules, list top 10%, it highlights it, pick what type tab it looked like, data bars, scales, a number of interesting things. I don't use them a whole lot. If I was presenting to people more often, then maybe I would, but they can be helpful to look at, and especially, like I said, if you're presenting. Kind of more interesting. Format is table. That's a quick way just to throw in formatting. Again, click on it, says what's the data for the table, and you pick it, sets it. Then you have some various styles you can pick for cell formatting, titles, photos, whatever. Another couple things for formatting. $, that does a counting number formats. If you hover over it, format is dollars, euros, or other currency. You can drop that, pick different things. If I click on that, it's doing a counting format actually. 2 decimal places, lines up our $, lines up the numbers nicely. Alternatively, there's currency format, which doesn't line up your $, so just a little bit different look. You also have your increase and decrease decimals. You want to get rid of then, percentage, just comma, which does start double decimal and adds commas in. So those are some basic formatting things. If you want to format it as text, if you notice, when I typed in these numbers, they automatically went to the right. When we type in text, it's automatically left aligned. So this is text, it's left aligned. Dates, you can use a short date, a long date, time, more number formats. Use a custom one if you want to set up a custom date format. Some of the programs that I use require the date to be, if I cancel this and I say 7/2/2022, they require a custom date format. So right now it's set as month/date year. Month, date, year. And I say OK, and now that's how that date format goes. So some various different custom things you can do, but I have a couple reports that require it to be loaded as that style. Show you the difference, accounting format versus our currency format, looking at them. Another item to note, if I come over here, is P number, phone number. So if I enter in district's number and I hit enter, you have a couple different things that might show up. So this switched it over to scientific format. Because it's too long to show, and if I switch it over to actual scientific format, it shows up as number signs. Well, it means that there's a number there, but it's too long to show in the width of column that I have. So I need to either widen that out. And another thing to know, if you are typing something in, if you end up having it show up as scientific format, and then you go and save that as a comma separated value file, that's what is going to show up instead of your actual number. That 5.41E plus L9 is what shows up on the comma separated value instead of your full number. So that can screw up your CSV file kind of quick if you aren't careful. So that's a bit of quick formatting. Quick fill. Go over here just a little bit. Quick fill. You have this fill button here. It won't work currently because I don't have extra stuff, but we'll get to that. Down at the bottom right, you have this little green box that will turn into a plus sign. That is quick fill. So if I start off with a 1 and a quick fill, Excel's going to look at it and say, well, there's a 1 there, there's some single number there, and so it just copies that number. Autofill options, I can come down here and do that, and I can adjust some of those. If I tell it 1 and then 2, and I quick fill that, then it says, hey, you're adding 1 each time, so it quick fills and adds those on. Some things it recognizes: January months, and so it automatically fills in the months. If I undo that, if I have a string of items along here and I type something in and I double click that autofill, that quick fill, it will fill down based on what you're doing, and it will fill down as long as there's something related to it on the side. And then if I do that and I say, oh, actually I wanted it to be Jan all the way down, maybe Jan is the name, I could come down here and click on that and say, no, if I don't want to fill the series, I want to just copy the cells, and then it changes it over to all Jans. Monday recognizes that, does days of the week. Go Monday, Wednesday, and I select both of those and I drag it down. It recognizes, hey, you're skipping a day, so we're just going to keep filling, skipping a day every time. If I give it a little more information, show up Monday, Wednesday, Monday, then it recognizes, okay, let's do a little bit of a series. Problem is, I have Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, because that was what I had to start with. So if I have the full set of series, then kind of every other day shows up. So those are some quick fill options. There's a little more information related to that depending on formulas when we get into formulas, but that's something else. So that's quick fill. Multi-page references. This falls also into formulas and functions. Basic, let's talk basic formula also. 1 plus 1. Doesn't do anything. If you just type that in, you need to start off telling Excel, figure this out for me. So you can start with the equal sign. You can insert a function and find one. Easy way to go, and Excel will recognize some things if I do minus and plus 1, tells me 0. It automatically adds the equal sign in. Start it off, you can say equals, and then start your formula. I've got too many pluses in there, but it figured it out. A lot of times if I'm just doing a basic one, I just start off with plus because it's on the numeric keyboard, and then I'll say 1 plus 1, whatever. So that's basic formula, function, and I might use the two words interchangeably, but typically I try to stick with a formula being just the basic number formula that I'm typing in, and a function is one of these items from Excel that it's figuring out some information on. And there will be more info on that in the next video. Multi-page references. So going to do a basic formula using a multi-page. So let's say that we have the district. I have different sheets. You need to add on sheets. There's the plus to add on additional sheets. Double click down there. You can rename images. Click and drag it to move it around. So I have my high school color. How many people like red, blue, black? I have my elementary school. How many like each one? Now I'll know for the district how many. So I'm going to say plus. I'm going to go, I'm looking at red, so plus. How many were red? And I'm going to say plus. And if you notice, when I did that, I came to the other sheet. It adds on the sheet name and then the reference. Then I'm going to sheet 3. It adds on the sheet name. I click the cell that I want. So sheet 2B3 plus sheet 3B3. Then I'm going to hit enter to finish off that formula, and it adds those up from the other sheets. Another option for finishing it off, so blue, plus, blue, plus, blue. Instead of hitting enter, an option is to hit this check sign, and then it stays on the same cell instead of moving down. When I use the enter on the keyboard, it does a return and moves it down. There are times with macros where using that check sign, you're having that enter is helpful so that you don't have it moving back. So that's multi-page references. There you go. Video 1. If you need some extra practice, make something up and look through it.